Hi, my amazing YouTube community. This is so important to me to do, and I want to welcome you to my channel. My name is Sarah, if you had missed that, and I am doing this because I got so many questions and so many DMs. I want to thank you for all the questions that I got, and I want this video to be a little bit of a chit chat between you and me. So I want to feel like this is something personal, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. I am super happy to have you and to be in this amazing community. So who am I? I'm going to tell you a little bit of my background with my eating disorder, and hopefully that will be some of the answers of the questions. So the start of my eating disorder was when I decided to eat less and to cut out the carb like 100%. And the reason why I did that was at first to keep my blood sugar level as good as possible, and trying to have a better A1C. And when I did, and because I was handling my diabetes so well, it was so hard for my doctors to see that I had problem with food, because I was handling my diabetes really good. So the main reason I am doing this is also because I've been there, and I was diagnosed with anorexia in 2017, I think, and it was the worst part of my life. But I did get help, and really good help, and I had this so supportive family, and some of my friends were still there. So did you know that girls and women who has type 1 diabetes are twice as likely to develop an eating disorder as those without diabetes? And maybe it's my own opinion, but I think that a person who has type 1 diabetes, the main focus will always be on food the rest of our lives. And I think that that's the reason that it can lead to a problematic relationship with food. And I think we need to talk about this more, because I know that people out there are struggling and are having anxiety and an unhealthy relationship with food. So back to me. After too much work, too little of intake of food, too little energy. I mean, I was barely sleeping. I'm not sure how I was. Yeah, it was really awful. So I woke up one morning, and I couldn't open my eyes. I was looking like a Michelin guy, you know, in the commercial with the wheel. And that was the wake-up call for me, because I couldn't see. I was totally swollen. And that was the morning that I know I had to do something about this, because I wasn't feeling well at all. So I quit my job the day after, and I was calling this clinic in Sweden and asked them if they could help me, because I wanted professional help, and I couldn't do this on my own, and my parents couldn't help me, and no one could help me. So I want someone who knew what they were doing to help me. And the clinic said yes, and I got inpatient for 6 months. After these 6 months, I was outpatient, and I was feeling better about myself and with my diabetes. And today, 2019 and I am feeling amazing. So back to the Q&A. So the first question. Did you have experience with extreme hunger? Oh my god, yes. I was so hungry all the time, and I think it's quite normal for a person who doesn't really eat enough. And I could wake up at night and just be craving food and like fat and carbs. So almost every night I was waking up and I was like cleaning my kitchen. I was eating so much. And when I started to eat again, it's quite normal to feel like you can eat so much. You can eat for like, it feels like you are eating for 10 people. And I know that I was eating a sandwich and I wasn't I wasn't feeling full. So I was taking another sandwich and another one, and I think I was eating like 10 or 15 sandwiches. And my body doesn't know I'm eating a sandwich. And my body, or all of our bodies, just want to feel full. And I think if you have any experience with an eating disorder, you know that this is something that is very common and it's normal. Don't forget that it's super normal. Next question. What motivated you to finally get out of the spiral and get help? So my motivation to get out of this horrible lifestyle was life. I knew that I was going to take these 6 months of being impatient and just because I wanted to make my dreams come true. Because I had so many plans and I had so much I wanted to do. So I knew that I had to take the time. And it was so hard to accept that, and I've always seen me as a strong and dedicated woman and really like educated and gorgeous, and now I wasn't. That was hard, but it is so worth it to take the time just to check out and get help. So that was my motive, and of course my family and my friends. And I love them. What would I do without you? Next question. Are you happy about your current weight? And yes, I am happy, 100%. And I don't even know my weight because I don't even own a scale, so I can't weigh myself. And I feel like it's so many numbers in my life. It's the blood sugar, it's the A1C, it's the how many carbs are there in the food. I've decided that I don't need any more numbers. It takes just too much of my time thinking of my weight, and I feel like I'm happy about how I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm happy that people I meet do accept me for the person I am and not the way I look. And I think you should too. Did you stop injecting insulin in order to lose weight? So just to clarify, I was diagnosed with anorexia. So I have no idea and no experience with the diabulimia, and I did not stop taking insulin. I've always been very good at managing my diabetes, and I've been having a really good A1C as well. How do you deal with problems around food? So today I don't have any problems around food. The only issue I do have is that when I can't get any gluten-free food, because I'm gluten intolerant. And yeah, so when I can't order any gluten-free food, I got problem. So today I'm totally aware of the energy I need to be happy and to not be freezing all the time, and to be able to go to work, to see my friends, to be social, to having a good time, to be happy. And I think it's really important to see that food is something that we need. Our body needs energy, and food is something social and something yummy. And yeah, so we need food and we need the energy. And something that we also have to remind ourselves is that everybody is, like, every person are different. Even if we have the same diagnosis, we need the different amount of energy. So that's the answer of because I've got many questions of how I'm eating and how many carbs I'm eating or like whatsoever, and I'm not going to answer that. The only thing I can answer is that I am eating everything. So next question. Shouldn't diabetics want to eat more than eat less, since we are restricted to certain food? And I didn't understand the question. Maybe I'm too lazy, but I have type 1 diabetes, and I can eat everything. I'm not restricted to any diet, and I'm not restricted to any certain food. Food is something that is a central part of a person's life, and it's more central with a person who has type 1 diabetes. And I mean, it can be a problem, but for me, it's with the right amount of insulin, I can eat like candy for dinner, and I can eat pizza, and I can eat bread. I can eat everything. The only issue is that I have to know how much insulin that I need. Were you constantly in a hypo? So ever since I got diabetes 17 years ago, I've not made a decision to not managing my diabetes in the best way. So all those years I've been trying to keeping my blood sugar in range. I think you say that. I've never trying to not do my best in my managing of my diabetes. The biggest challenge with Dexcom and eating disorder. That's a that's a funny question. I don't have any challenges with my Dexcom. I love it, and I love that I don't have to calibrate, and I don't have to take my test in my fingers, the finger pricks, and it's so accurate. And today I don't feel like I think of my diabetes as much as I have been doing, and I feel like I can eat spontaneously and I can eat anything. I mean, my CGM is doing all of the work. I don't have to think at all, which is, it's making me happy. Do you follow any specific diet? What kind of food you don't eat very often? As I said, I don't follow any specific diet, and I don't say no to any certain food, or the important thing for me is I can eat anything, anytime. I mean, if my body wants something special, I will eat it, because then I know my body wants it and needs it for recover. And I believe it's so important to get to know your body and to get to know how your diabetes is doing when you are eating something special, and trying to do the best of it. Because I think that it's not healthy to be so restricted to food, and it is possible to managing your diabetes with the food you like. How did you have diabetes under control without food? I feel like this is a question that is really common, and I was eating. The problem was that I was not eating enough, and I was doing too much of cardio, and I did tons of workouts, so the food I was eating wasn't enough for the workout I was doing. So that was my problem also. So one thing that I had to remember during my recovery, and still have to remember, is that having an eating disorder and type 1 diabetes requires so much of my willpower and discipline to get out of. And I still some days need to remember myself why I'm doing this, and why I'm sometimes are thinking like thoughts that isn't normal. So thank you for all of the questions that I got. Please be kind to me. I know that English is not my first language, but if you want me to do, there will be a part 2 of this Q&A, and don't forget to take care of yourself. You are beautiful as you are, and I know that diabetes is chronic disease that it isn't funny, I know, but you can do it, and you are strong as you are. So don't hesitate to asking me question, or just leave a comment if you would like to. I would be super happy, and I see you on my Instagram. Toodles!